Hello everyone, my name is Parth Verma and welcome you all on the Habitat channel. In last one decade, UPSC Civil Services examination has seen tremendous upheavals and none more so than UPSC Civil Services prelims. It has seen drastic changes, be it pattern of the examination, scope of questions or themes. That is why it has been labeled as unpredictable public service commission. This line of thought has been more prominent especially in last 5 years. Aspirants have started complaining about the changing dynamics of the exam. But is it so? If you see the cutoff of prelims examinations in last 5 years, then the overall trend has been the same more or less. For example, if you see in 2016 the cutoff was 116, the highest, okay? But in 17 it was 105, reduced. In 18 it went down to 98. In 19 it remained the same at 98, and in 2020, which is yet to come, we are expecting somewhere between 98 to 102. This whole I'm talking about general cutoff as of now. You can take the overall difference for other categories accordingly. So when the overall cutoff has been seen a drastic reduction, then how come we are complaining about the overall pattern? Because there are some elephants in the room that we have to address first. Okay, so we will discuss these trends in this series of lectures where I'll be taking up important themes and learnings of UPSC prelims, taking it subject wise since the last 5 years. Because if you have to clear the prelims examination, you have to know the method, the madness that UPSC has been taking up. UPSC never asks a question without any purpose. So if you understand that purpose, your overall task gets easy. Okay? So today let us answer the elephant in the room, which is history as well as art and culture. And why I have taken art and culture along with history is because there is no watertight compartment between history and art and culture. What might be a question from ancient history for you might well be a question from art and culture. Similarly, what might be a question from medieval history for you might well as be a question of art and culture actually. So if you have to read history, then you have to read art and culture as well, especially after 2011. Friends, the major issue that all aspirants have been complaining about has been the role of traditional sources and role of non-traditional sources similarly. Okay, so here I'll be discussing the major learnings of the last 5 years in history and art and culture. So first, answer the overall weightage. So the overall weightage has been somewhere between 15 to 20 questions per year. I'm talking about history as well as art and culture. Okay, so if you see, your 1/4 paper comes from history as well as art and culture, which makes it quite an important part. Because in any way, a successful candidate is going to score somewhere between 48 to 55% of the marks to clear the examination. And in that scenario, the overall weightage is somewhere around 25% of history and art and culture. So that makes it a very important part of your overall preparation. You just cannot escape it. But what about the predictability? Okay, the predictability has gone down, no doubt in that. But because the predictability has gone down, it has made the role of non-traditional sources up. And therefore, your overall risk-taking ability has again gone down. Now, what is the risk-taking ability? See, for someone like me who has cleared 6 prelims examination, even I don't know the answer of each and every question. Even then, I clear the examination with a cutoff marks of 120, 130 minimum. But then also, I leave around 60 to 70 marks question. But in order to achieve that 120, 130, 140 marks in prelims examination, I have to have some risk-taking ability. because I might know the topic, but I might not know the answer of that particular question. And then I have to take some calculated guess, which we call Tikram here. Okay. But because the predictability has gone down, the role of non-traditional sources has gone up. Therefore, the overall risk-taking ability has gone down. Therefore, the overall relationship between all these is inversely proportional in terms of difficulty level. So these are the trends. Okay. So first of all, what are the traditional sources? See, traditional sources are your old as well as new NCERTs. Okay. I'm talking about ancient, medieval, and modern. Then comes spectrum. Again for modern. Nitin Singhania for your overall art and culture. And apart from that, your current affairs. Now, what is this current affairs? If you may ask, for example, in February this year, PM Narendra Modi inaugurated a memorial in the remembrance of the victims of Chauri Chaura incident in Gorakhpur. Why was this news important? Because this year we are celebrating 100 years of Chauri Chaura incident. Okay, non-cooperation movement. And because of that Chauri Chaura incident, Gandhiji was forced to disband the whole non-cooperation movement. Similarly, if you see in last couple of years, PM Modi and his government has been focusing a lot on historical achievements of Tripura as well as Assam. So these current affairs topics become very important. They are related to art and culture as well as your history. So before 2016, any aspirant would have just taken upon these four sources, okay, and he would or she would have been on a safer side to say that out of, let's say, if 20 questions come, we'll be able to do at least 16 to 17 questions. But in last 5 years, the role of non-traditional sources like Upinder Singh, Romila Thapar, Shekhar Bandyopadhyay, A.L. Basham, even CCRT and Tamil Nadu board, they have increased a lot, especially these two. Okay, I have seen students, I have seen my friends who are constantly reading the CCRT as well as Tamil Nadu board books. I am a graduate student of history, but for my civil service preparation, I have never read these books. Okay, and still I have been able to clear my prelims examination. Because as we talked about in the previous slide, the overall cost benefit ratio is quite less for these non-traditional sources. And I'll tell you why in my upcoming slides. Okay. So in last 5 years, the role of these has increased, but not tremendously. This is my opinion and trust me on this. Okay. People have, you can see these books on the shelf of various aspirants, especially these two, CCRT and Tamil Nadu board. These two books are available almost everywhere in Karol Bagh, in Mukherjee Nagar, in Allahabad, everywhere. Okay. But trust me, the role of non-traditional sources is overhyped in history and art and culture. And I'll tell you why. But before that, let's see the overall weightage in last 5 years of history and art and culture. So the maximum was in 2018 and the lowest was in 2017. Okay. So that is why I'm saying in last 5 years, between 15 to 20 questions are always there. Okay. 16, 16, 19, 21, 14. This has been the overall weightage. And before you start preparing for your UPSC prelims, you need to have these stats in your mind. Similarly, what are the breakups of various parts of history, be it ancient, medieval, modern, even this post-independence consolidation, art and culture. So for this discussion, let's keep this aside, because only in 2018 there were two questions. One I remember was regarding a statement-based question for C. Rajgopalachari, and whether he was the first leader of opposition in independent Indian government history. So overall, there were only two questions. So let's keep it aside. But if you see ancient, okay, in last 5 years, total 11 questions from ancient history. From medieval history, it was 13. From modern history, it was whooping 40 questions. Similarly, art and culture were 20, just half of this. Okay. So that means what? You're still the two very basic sources and two very basic themes to cover history are modern history and art and culture, and then medieval history. I've been seeing people complaining कि sir, we just don't know from where to study ancient history and medieval history. But what is the cost benefit analysis? In last 5 years, this goes to almost 2.5 questions. Okay, and this somewhere around 3, less than 3. Okay, less than 3 per year. So is it worth it to read ancient and medieval? Yes, it is. But is it worth it to read from non-traditional sources? Completely no. So in this, I've shown you the major chunk is modern, which is at 47%. The second one is art and culture, which is 23%. And the third one is medieval history, which is 15% questions. So if out of 100% of history, art and culture, 47% questions are coming still from modern and 23% questions are coming from art and culture. That means almost a weightage of 70%. Okay. And the rest is medieval, ancient, and just 2% from post-independence history. Okay. You have to know this before you start preparing or you go for 2021 prelims examination. Otherwise, you will be shooting arrow in the darkness and you don't want to be in that particular situation. Now here comes the main issue. That is what I have been talking about. Traditional versus non-traditional. So if you see overall, if there were 11 questions from ancient history, then major were 6 were from traditional sources. Again, if 13 were from medieval, then 9 were from traditional sources. If you see modern history, 32 and only 8 from non-traditional sources. Let's leave it aside. Art and culture, it's 50-50. Okay. So out of overall traditional sources and non-traditional sources, 57 questions are coming from traditional sources and only 29 are coming from non-traditional, which is less than half. So you have to pick your battles carefully before going into prelims 2021. And if you see the percent-wise breakup, the highest has been 2018 when 43% of the questions were from non-traditional sources and 42% were in 2020 which were from non-traditional sources. But the minimum standard has been 25%. So that means 1 out of 4 questions will be from non-traditional sources minimum in last 5 years. And the maximum has been 43 and 42. Let's say 43. Okay. This figure will help you out. 55% of ancient history has been coming from traditional. 70% of the traditional medieval India. 80% of the modern questions are coming from traditional sources. Let's leave it aside once again. But art and culture, 50% from traditional, 50% from non-traditional. So overall, 60% questions from traditional sources and rest from non-traditional sources. Okay, so your 2/3 paper is set from traditional sources. So why are you fretting upon non-traditional sources? I mean, no one is going to attempt 100% questions. And trust me on this, if 100 people are attempting 100 questions in the prelims examination, the chances are 99 of them are going to fail. Because the cost benefit of negative marking says that you have to be on that particular scale where you know your overall conversion ratio of correct questions and non-correct questions should be in that domain that you clear the examination handle in a very efficient manner. For example, I have been scoring 120, 130, 140 in my prelims examination. I have cleared prelims examination 6 times. And for me, this overall conversion ratio has been quite good. For example, if I attempt 80 questions, okay, then almost only 15 or 20 questions I get wrong. I guess it has never been to 20. but only 15, 17. Okay. So my overall conversion ratio has been very good, quite good. So when your conversion ratio is good, then only 33 or 34% of the questions are coming from non-traditional. So you have to focus on traditional sources even now also, because the cutoff is what, between 48% to 56%. So to summarize this whole discussion of the last 5 years, which area to focus more upon? The first one is of course modern. The second one is of course art and culture, and the third one is of course medieval. I'm not saying that you don't have to read ancient, but you have to first prioritize modern, then art and culture, then medieval, and only then ancient. Okay? Then, secondly, limit yourself to limited resources. I have seen aspirants reading AL Basham, CCRT, Tamil Nadu. It is okay if you have time, if you are just starting your preparation. But if you are a seasoned aspirant, if you have given 2-3 prelims and you have not cleared the examination, or you are someone who is preparing for the UPSC civil services along with his or her job, then I will never say that you go for 7 to 8 books just to answer 20 questions. It is always better to get maximum marks from limited resources. Okay, there is a very good saying from Pareto that your 80% of your output comes from your hard work of 20% input. Okay, and the rest you can understand. 80% input will give you only 20% output. So here is the traditional source and here is the non-traditional sources. Okay, so therefore focus on traditional sources and understand the cost benefit analysis of non-technical sources. There is no point of reading 700 pages of a book to answer just one or two questions, and there might not be a question from that particular book that particular year, but you know that from Spectrum, from old and new NCERT, from Nitin Singhania, and from the current events, you are bound to get at least 60% of your questions. So focus on 66 rather than fretting upon this non-traditional, and follow the start mode. What is the start mode? First study, then give test, mock test, then analyze your test. This analysis part is quite important. Not many people understand what is the importance of analysis, but if you have to get a better conversion ratio, then you have to analyze your test properly. Then after analyzing, you have to revise and then again give test. So this process has to keep on getting study, test, analyze, revise, test. Again, study, test, analyze, revise, test. Okay. That way, if you are committing 25 mistakes in a particular paper, in a particular mock test, in the next one, you will be surely falling to 21 or 22 mistakes. And eventually you will come to a very healthy rate of conversion ratio. Okay. And the third one, and the last one is revise your traditional sources. Keep on revising. Whenever you get time, keep on revising. Okay. So this is the overall trend for last 5 years of history and art and culture. So this is the first battle that we have won. But what about the other battle? What are the important themes? Now, in just couple of weeks, I'm going to start my prelims heist club on Habitat. Yes, I have taken it from Money Heist. See, in Money Heist, professor knew that he is going to face a very difficult challenge while getting into the bank. But he had his task cut out. He had all his resources. He knew what he would be facing. And similarly, if you know what UPSC is going to ask and what are the important themes and probable questions, then your overall journey for UPSC prelims gets a lot easier. Okay, there is a method to the madness of what UPSC does. It asks questions because it has some value attached to it. So if you understand that value of the topic, then you can predict the question. And let me help you with this prediction. Okay, it is going to be a 21 days program. It will be starting in the mid week of July, and I'll see you there with different important things that you have to make sure that you complete before 2021 prelims. So today we discuss history, art and culture. In our next video, we'll be discussing polity, then economy, geography, likewise. Because you have to pick your battle wisely, you have to know what you have to study, from where you have to study, and what you have to leave. Knowing what to leave is as important as knowing what to study, because there is no dearth of content, there is no dearth of material, there is no dearth of books outside in Rajendra Nagar market, in Mukherjee Nagar market, in Allahabad market, in Chennai market, in Hyderabad market. But if you get the guidance from an experienced mentor to tell you what to leave and what to read, then your task become quite easy. Okay. So for more details, the link is given in the comment box of the whole Prelims Heist Club. And for any query, please leave the comment in the comment box. And with that, please take care. Always wear the mask till everyone has been vaccinated. Take care of yourself. Please go out only if it is quite necessary. And please like, share this video and subscribe our channel for more weekly content like this, which will help you in your UPSC and other examinations journey. Take care. Goodbye.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.